Am I the only one a little worried about UFC Freedom 250? Ever since this got announced to me, the idea of a fight on the White House lawn just seemed kinda pie in the sky, kinda hoping for the best, optimistic. This is not a typical UFC event, obviously, right? This is an event hosted on government property on the White House lawn. I can think of so many reasons as to why this event might not happen. And again, my concerns about this have been alleviated a little bit recently, because it is getting closer and closer. It's only a few weeks away at this point. And for the record, I sincerely hope I'm wrong for several reasons. This would be so sick. This would be an awesome display of MMA on such a big scale. The fights are pretty damn good, even though there's not that many of them. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. for the fan experience events the day before. So I really hope that nothing goes wrong here. But this is not like booking a venue, right? This is not like, oh, you're at the T-Mobile Arena. Like, it's nothing like that. This is the White House lawn. This is government property. I can think of so many reasons as to why this might not go down, be it some other priority with the government. You can't imagine that a UFC fight is the priority of the government on the White House lawn at any given point. If something else comes up that is actual government business, you would like to believe that that would take precedent over watching Justin Gaethje's funeral. We would like to think that. I guess you never know because of Trump's affiliation with Dana and the UFC and how much he appreciates it and how much he's kind of leaning this into a showcase for the American birthday. So I hope I'm wrong, but you can't say I'm not onto something here, right? Where this is just not a priority for the government. And I feel like that might lead to instances in which this might be complicated. Another reason in which why this might be complicated. It's outside. If it's on the White House lawn, you're gonna have, Justin Gaethje stretching out his herniated discs in the Oval Office. Like, that's a crazy thought, on its own right, to get these guys into the Oval. Visa problems, security issues, just to get people at a very high level in the White House. There's going to be complications there, right? This is venue itself. Whoever's able to actually attend the fights, like cage side, that's going to be complicated in its own right. And big one, it's outside. It's on the White House lawn. It is outside in summer in Washington, D.C. And for any of you that have spent any summer in Washington, D.C., like I have, it gets hot and muggy. It gets sweaty. They're going to be flopping like fish on the octagon. They're going to be sweaty from the moment they get out there. It's going to be 90 degrees probably. Assuming it doesn't rain. What happens if it rains? Is there going to be a dome? Do we have kind of solutions there? Is it just going to be open heading for, if it rains? That would be bad. It starts pouring in the octagon. Fucking Alex Pereira slips on the rain. That would not be good. Wind conditions, maybe garbage or leaves or waste flies into the octagon, a Coke can, who knows what could happen in terms of stuff. It's a less regulated environment as opposed to your T-Mobile Arena and your MSG and your arenas that are inside and have a degree of uniformity to them. I don't think that's something we should just completely ignore. That it's a completely different atmosphere, which could lead to so many different complications on the day. If it's going to rain, if there's visa issues, if there's security issues, if the government has other priorities. This seems like a kind of pie in the sky thing. At least it always did back when we were initially talking about it when it first got announced, where we were like, yeah, okay, like there's going to be an event on the White House lawn. Sure there is. It looks like there might be now, right? But I think it's important that, at least from my perspective, that we don't forget all of those different consequences and all of those different areas in which this could still potentially be an area of concern. I don't think that's something that we should just ignore entirely, especially given the outdoor element of it, the fact that it's on government property, so on and so forth. Now, to reiterate, man, do I hope I'm wrong. Man, do I hope I'm wrong, because I'm going to be there and it's a sick event. But in the event that this does get hampered or something happens, right? Let's say Ilya has trouble with his visa or something, or let's say I don't know, someone, Diego Lopez, can't get over the board. Like, there's issues somewhere, right, with getting them into the White House or onto the lawn. Or it rains, or it's canceled by the government, a host of different things. Then what do we do? Then what do we do? Because what's so interesting about this card is there's only 7 fights, and it's very top heavy. As we know with Ilya and Alex, that those are the two real stars of the show here. In the event that this doesn't happen, what do we do? Because it's on a Sunday, so we likely can't move it to a different arena on the same day, depending on how soon we have notice that it may or may not be happening. So do we just push these fights back? Who's to say? This feels like a real gamble by the UFC to me, because some of these fights, O'Malley and Zahabi and Rufy and Chandler, and some of these fights do not have real implications on the sport and the division, but those main ones sure do. If for whatever reason Ilya and Gaethje can't happen when it's supposed to happen, that keeps the lightweight division so frozen with Justin Gaethje's bullshit interim title, right? That keeps Ilya waiting for Gaethje. That keeps Gaethje sitting in that position in which you have folks like Arman, especially, but also the winner of Paddy and BSD and other folks that would be eyeing a title shot, typically, if not for Gaethje's position. This is devastating for heavyweight if this doesn't happen, because right now obviously Tom's out, so it's not bad timing. But if Alex and Gon doesn't happen, what do we do then? Because hopefully by then Tom will be in better shape. I think the answer to that is pretty obvious. I think you just put Pereira in that spot. If this fight doesn't happen, you just give Pereira the title shot against Gon, or against not fucking Gon, against Aspinall, and Gon can go fuck off somewhere. Gon can go fight the winner of Hokit Lewis. Yeah, Gon can go fight Josh Hokit. But that is also a question here. If this fight doesn't happen and the heavyweight division continues to be in flux, then Hokit isn't getting the momentum that he otherwise would have gotten from this fight. It's also, you can't reschedule this to a typical arena as built, right? You can't do 7 fights in an arena and sell it as you normally would, right? You just can't do that. So it would either get split among a variety of different cards, get held back for however long, or this card would remain with a host of additional fights underneath. But if it's not on the same date, you'd like to think that these fights will just kind of get scattered to the wind and will end up on different cards if they're maintained at all, right? So really interesting stuff, really big gamble in my opinion from the UFC to bet that this is going to happen at the whims of the US government on the White House lawn, given all the different logistical consequences this might have, especially considering how much this could hold back various divisions. But regardless, man, do I hope I'm wrong. Man, do I hope it happens as intended. Man, do I hope that I'm going to be there, because my current plan is to be there for all the fan experience stuff. I can't wait to see it, to talk about it, and to break it down. Pretty soon, I'll be doing some predictions for how I think these matchups are going to go. I think a lot of these matchups are honestly not that interesting, but some of them are, and some of them are definitely worth discussing. So hope you guys understand what I'm talking about here. For those of you who have made it this far, what's up? Schoolboy MMA here. Just a guy who loves UFC and wants to talk about it. I don't have all that many friends in life right now that like UFC. I'm such a big fan, and I love talking about it and discussing it, and would love to have a community of folks that I can engage with and to share our thoughts and our love for the sport. So that's what you're going to find here. So stick around. Can't wait to put some more of this stuff out there for you. I'll be sure to tell you guys about my experience actually being there for the fan experience stuff. Should be super, super dope. And looking forward to putting out some predictions and some updates coming up in the future. So stay tuned. Get ready. It's going to be a ball. Until then, my friends, thank you so much for checking in. I'll see you next time.